Part 12. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 111. What's the meaning? Su Yang's face was suddenly full of doubts. Do the late-stage masters outside know me? Want to save me? In an instant, Su Yang gave up the idea of using blood sacrifice, but he did not believe the words of the man outside. Instead, he turned sideways vigilantly and avoided the black slave's attack. Okay, Su Xiantian, I didn't expect you to have helpers, but this won't help. The black slave was furious, and his palms were fierce, hitting Su Yang's vitals. As long as I'm here today, no one can harm Mr. Su. At the same time, Tang Shankao arrived, stood in front of Su Yang, and then took the black slave's hand forcefully. Boom! Following a muffled sound, Hainu and Tang Shankao took half a step back, and both of them were filled with energy and blood, and a trace of blood overflowed from the corners of their mouths. Su Yang next to him was very curious when he saw this. These two people were obviously serious, so they must not be colluding. Moreover, there is no need for the two of them to act in front of Su Yang, because in their opinion, anyone can kill Su Yang alone. Who is this old man who suddenly appears, and why does he want to help him? Master Su, are you okay? At this time, Tang Shankao asked while being wary of black slaves. Fine. Su Yang shook his head, and then couldn't help but ask, who are you, and why did you save me? Haha, at Xiatang Pass, from Country D. Tang Shankao did not hide anything and continued, I heard Lu Fangkui mention you. He said you are a good man. I am lucky enough to meet you today. Mr. Su is indeed young and handsome. He is a rare talent. Tangshan Pass. When Su Yang heard this name, he immediately reacted and sneered in his heart, but on the surface he said gratefully, Senior Tang, thank you for your rescue just now. Young Master Su, you're welcome. What's wrong with seniors? It's enough that you and I are equals. Tang Shankao smiled and said, besides, thanks to you yesterday, Lu Fangkui was able to save his life. I have a good relationship with Lu Fangkui, so I should save you this time. Besides, the reason why you got into trouble with the Nalan family was because of what happened last night. I definitely can't stand by and watch. Lu Fangkui has been killed by Su Yang, and now a man appears in Tangshan Pass, treating Su Yang as a good guy. This was a bit outrageous and made Su Yang feel embarrassed. After I came to Jiangbei today, I found that I couldn't contact Lu Fangkui. At this moment, Tang Shankao asked doubtfully, Master Su, do you know the news about Lu Fangkui? Not sure. Su Yang shook his head, then glanced at the black slave not far away, and said meaningfully, since the Nalan family can find me, they must also be able to find Lu Fangkui. With this person's strength, it should not be difficult to kill Lu Fangkui, maybe he has encountered something unexpected. After Su Yang's instruction, Tang Shankao suddenly became furious. He stared at the black slave with a sinking face and gritted his teeth and said, the damn Nalan family has repeatedly turned against us, Country D, and is seeking death. After saying that, Tang Shankao didn't hesitate at all, and immediately killed the black slave angrily. Humph, you really thought I was afraid of you? The black slave's face darkened, and he faced Tangshan Pass, bursting out with all his strength. Just like that, two late-stage masters started fighting in the living room. The real energy was raging at the scene, and the furniture and furnishings in the living room were quickly destroyed. Especially the Huanghuali coffee table was smashed into pieces and turned into sawdust flying in the air. Su Yang didn't feel bad at all. How much were these furniture worth? I might as well buy them tomorrow. Exciting. The late stage of Grandmaster is really strong. I really can't handle it now. But after tonight, I will be able to reach the 4th level of Qi training. By then, let alone the later stage, even the peak Grandmaster will probably not be my opponent. Su Yang watched the later battle between the two grandmasters while analyzing his own strength. Tang Shankao and He Nu were equally matched. In just a few minutes, they had already fought hundreds of rounds, and there was still no winner. If the fight continues like this, both of them will suffer losses. Su Yang was standing in the corner. If he made a sneak attack, the black slave would not be able to hold it, and Tang Shankao could easily win. But Su Yang did not do this, because these two people were his enemies. The member of the Tang Shankao gang is Su Xiantian, but Country D wants to kill Su Yang in order to disturb the mood of his elder sister Su Jingguo. This point touched Su Yang's bottom line, so Su Yang killed Lu Fangkui mercilessly. This Tang Shankao is a master of Country D. If he knew that Lu Fangkui had not completed his mission, he would definitely kill Su Yang in the future. Su Yang would not give him this opportunity, he must nip the coming crisis in the cradle. About 20 minutes later, Tang Shankao and He Nu gave another hard blow, and then they flew out one after another. Puff! Puff! Tang Shankao's body hit the wall hard, and then fell to the ground. He opened his mouth and vomited blood, and his face was extremely pale. The black slave didn't feel well either. He hit his body against a pillar before stopping. He was also spurting blood and his breath was disordered. Almost at the same time, the two quickly sealed their acupuncture points to prevent excessive bleeding. After that, the black slave glanced at Su Yang, with quite fear in his eyes. He knew that with his current seriously injured body, not only could he not be able to kill Su Yang, but he would probably be killed by Su Yang, so he did not dare to stop for a moment and jump to do it. Escape. Master Su, don't let him go. Please kill this person for me as if I owe you a favor. At this time, Tang Shankao spoke directly. Brother Tang has seen someone else. Even if you don't tell me, I will kill him. Leave the rest to me. This man will die. Su Yang raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and then strode forward. Spiritual energy surged around his body, and he instantly condensed a water blade. The next moment, the water blade came out. If it was before, the black slave would have been able to dodge, but now he was seriously injured and his reaction was slowed down, so he was hit in the abdomen by the water blade. Ah! The black slave fell to the ground, covered his bleeding abdomen, stared at Su Yang angrily, gritted his teeth and said, Su Xiantian, you took advantage of others' danger, you are despicable. Ha ha, old man, it's too late to say anything now. Su Yang sneered, his eyes sharpened, and with the next water blade, he directly cut off the black slave's neck. After killing the black slaves, Su Yang's eyes fell on Tang Shankao, and the corner of his mouth raised an intriguing arc. Master Su, you did a great job. You have done me a big favor. This time I brought 18 energy stones, all of them for you, cough. Tang Shankao took out a cloth bag from his arms and threw it to Su Yang. As he spoke, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. He was obviously seriously injured. Then, he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, Master Su, please wait for me for a moment. I have one more thing to do this time, and that is to kill young Master Su. This is young Master Su's villa in Jiangbei. I got the news that young Master Su is in the villa. This idiot must be asleep upstairs at the moment. It's so rubbish that he didn't wake up despite the commotion down there. Tang Shankao smiled contemptuously, and then continued, Master Su, I will kill Su Yang now, and then we will go drinking together. It's too late for me to meet you. Are you so eager to kill me? Hearing this, Su Yang smiled softly and said, Brother Tang, you don't have to go up. Why? Tang Shankao asked confused. Because. Su Yang paused deliberately, then quickly stepped forward and grabbed Tang Shankao's neck. Then there was only a click, and Tang Shankao's life ended. Before he died, his eyes widened and he refused to close his eyes. Throwing away the body in Tang Shankao, Su Yang raised the corners of his mouth and finished what he had not finished, because, I am Su Yang. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 112. This Tangshan Pass was pitiful enough. After traveling thousands of miles, the first thing he did was to rescue Su Yang, causing himself to be seriously injured. In fact, if it weren't for his different stance, Su Yang might have spared his life. But Tang Shankao is from country D. He came to Jiangbei with the intention of obliterating Su Yang. Su Yang always kills decisively when doing things. He will show no mercy to those who want to kill him and will definitely kill them. However, killing also requires timing. If the timing is not available, he can chat with the other person with a smile on his face, but when the time is right, Su Yang will strike very harshly, usually killing with one blow. Zhao Wenbin and Nalanyi are examples. At this moment, there were 3 corpses in the living room of the villa, namely Song Liwa, Hainu, and Tang Shankao. After solving Tangshan Pass, Su Yang took out the corpse-turning water and planned to destroy the corpse and eliminate traces. But at this time, a call came in, and the caller ID was Li Feixuan. "Honey, call me so late, are you okay?" Su Yang smiled softly. "Su Yang, what are you doing? Are you asleep?" Concubine Li's voice sounded like nature on the phone. "Not sleeping yet." With a smile on his face, Su Yang responded to Li Feixuan while pouring the corpse-transforming water on the 3 corpses. Along with the sizzling sound, the 3 corpses quickly decomposed and disappeared after a few breaths. "What's the sound, Su Yang, what are you doing?" Li Feixuan heard the sizzling sound and asked curiously. "I am here." Su Yang glanced at the blood on the ground and smiled softly, "I'm at the barbecue stall. The boss was making me kebabs just now." Large pieces of mutton kebabs were grilled over charcoal fire. They were sizzling and delicious. "What time is it, and you still eat barbecue? Aren't you afraid of gaining weight?" Li Feixuan said angrily. "What's wrong with gaining weight? You are my fiancé anyway, and you won't dislike me." "Who says I can't do it?" Li Feixuan joked. "If you become a fat man weighing 200 pounds, I will never see you again." "Honey, you are discriminating. What's wrong with a fat man? He feels more secure," Su Yang retorted with a smile. Yes, you are right. Okay, let's stop talking and get down to business." Concubine Li smiled and then said, "Do you have time now? Come and pick me up. I have something to do and need to go to Yangzhou restaurant. Feasting at Westlake." Su Yang paused, then smiled, and said, "Yangtze Lake is one of the best couples restaurants in Jiangbei. What are you doing there?" "Oh, wife, I understand, you want to date me, right? Haha, it's all my fault that I have been too busy during this period. I didn't treat you to a good meal. Instead, you took the initiative. This is my negligence." Su Yang apologized slightly, then changed his tone and said, "By the way, wife, have you booked the theme hotel? It's so late, we have had dinner, we definitely can't go home, we have to find a place to have a good rest. There is a theme hotel next to Yangtze Lake. It is very popular. It has water beds, beer houses, hanging rings, everything. If you haven't booked a hotel yet, I will book one now. The water bedroom is very good, and it is special to build it. Comfortable." "Shut up, who wants to live in a water bedroom with you?" Li Feixuan said with a dark face. "Other themes are also fine, but the main theme is an artistic conception." "Su Yang, what's going on in your mind? Your thoughts are too dirty." Li Feixuan gritted her teeth and said, "I went to the Westlake banquet because something is really urgent. A good friend of mine encountered something and wanted to discuss it with me face to face. She said that this matter must be kept secret and cannot be known to my family, otherwise my family will definitely tell her grandpa." Li Feixuan continued, "So I don't want the driver to take me to Yangtze Lake. I can't drive myself. I don't dare to take a taxi at night. Then I thought of you. Will you come to pick me up? If you don't come, forget it, I'll find someone else to help. Go, I have to go. Wife, please wait for me for a while, I will rush over right away. Su Yang agreed immediately, hung up the phone, and left the living room. But at this moment, he suddenly discovered that the white cat came down from upstairs at some point. Woof! At this moment, the white cat's whole body was glowing with light, and it sucked all the blood on the ground into its stomach in one gulp. At the same time, the white cat's body was suspended in the air, and its belly continued to expand like a balloon filled with air. Woof woof woof. Immediately afterwards, the white cat had a ferocious expression, screamed in pain, and rolled in the air, looking miserable. This pool of blood is the essence and blood of three masters, and it contains a huge amount of true energy. Although true energy is different from spiritual energy and is many times weaker than spiritual energy, it still has strong energy after all. Su Yang looked at the white cat and analyzed. The white cat probably sensed the energy in the blood, so it swallowed it directly. This greedy little thing is only at the first level of Qi training. How dare he eat the essence and blood of three martial arts masters? Isn't he looking for death? Forget it, Nalan Yi's grandma entered the villa earlier and helped me a lot thanks to your reminder. Now I will help you once too. After what happened before, Su Yang felt that keeping a dog by his side would be beneficial and harmless. Next time you practice by yourself, you can let the white cat protect you, which can avoid a lot of trouble. So, Su Yang decided to save the white cat and said seriously, Bai Mao, I know you can hear what I say. In your current situation, if I don't help you, you will inevitably explode and die. But I won't save you for no reason. As long as you recognize me as your master and only obey my orders from now on, I will teach you a technique suitable for spiritual beast cultivation. With the help of the technique, you can by dissolving the huge energy in the body, not only will you not die, but you will have the opportunity to make breakthroughs. As he spoke, Su Yang bit his fingertip, squeezed out a drop of blood, and then cast a spell on the blood on his fingertip. In an instant, several mysterious and complex lines appeared on the drop of blood on the fingertip. Go! Su Yang waved his hand, and the blood from his fingertips flew to the side of the white cat, and then he said, White cat, this is a master-servant contract. Once you eat it, you must obey me. If you have any hostility towards me, even if your strength is so great that it won't help if you surpass me, you will still be counterattacked by the essence and blood, and you will destroy yourself. If you are willing to be my spiritual beast, just eat it. Let me declare in advance that even if you don't sign an essence and blood contract with me, I will still save you, but the method will be different. I will help you resolve the energy in your body and will no longer teach you the spirit beast skills, Su Yang added. After hearing what Su Yang said, the white cat swallowed the blood from Su Yang's fingertips without any hesitation, thus signing a master-servant contract. Okay, from now on, you will be my second spiritual beast. Su Yang showed a smile, then shot out a ball of light and poured into the white cat's body. This is a divine skill, the heaven-swallowing spirit beast art. Once practiced successfully, it can swallow the world, travel across the 4 seas, and gallop across the 8 wastelands. Today, it is said that here you go. Buzz. After Bai Mao obtained the heaven-swallowing spiritual beast art, he quickly refined the essence and blood in his body, and his round belly returned to normal. Immediately afterwards, the light around it dissipated, and it looked at Su Yang respectfully, and then a clear girl's voice sounded in Su Yang's mind. Thank you, Master, for giving me the technique. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 113. The white cat's voice is very nice, tender, and pure, soft and girlish. All this time, Su Yang didn't pay attention to the gender of the white cat. After all, whoever has nothing better to do would check whether a teddy is male or female. At this time, Su Yang heard the white cat's voice and realized that the white cat turned out to be a girl. Su Yang nodded, his eyes fell on the white cat, and he was suddenly surprised. Have you broken through to the third level of Qi training? Yes, Master, the white cat responded respectfully. The technique you taught me is really suitable for me. After 3 or 4 weeks of operation, I refined all the essence and blood, and achieved continuous breakthroughs. Strangeness. This is so weird. Su Yang stared at the white cat carefully and marveled. The heaven-swallowing spirit beast art is a god-level technique. You are just an ordinary pet dog on earth. How could you succeed in practicing it so quickly? Besides, even if you master it, you won't be able to refine the blood essence of 3 masters in just a few minutes. Su Yang was a little unbelievable. This shit is so shocking. It often takes a few days to refine the evil spirit by yourself. It takes even longer to advance to the third level of Qi training. As a result, a local dog reached the third level of Qi training in just a few minutes. This is unreasonable. The most important thing is that even those awe-inspiring mountain-protecting spirit beasts in the immortal realm cannot master the heaven-swallowing spirit beast art in just a few minutes. With strong doubts, Su Yang began to look at the white cat, and found that the white cat's physique had undergone strange changes. With his own eyesight, he could not see why. Could it be that the white cat has the blood of a mythical beast flowing in its body, and after being baptized by spiritual energy, there are signs of returning to its ancestors? Su Yang was puzzled and simply stopped thinking about these things. Anyway, the changes in the white cat were good, and his future achievements would be limitless. White cat, practice seriously and consolidate your realm. In addition, be careful not to utter words in front of outsiders, and try not to expose your own strength, so as not to cause panic. I have something to do now and need to go out. We signed a master-servant contract. We can communicate with each other within 100 miles. If you need anything, please contact me. Yes, master. After Su Yang warned the white cat, he strode out of the living room and drove away in the Ferrari. He was a little surprised by the change in the white cat, but he was not jealous or scrupulous. Because the white cat is already his spiritual beast, the soul contract is controlled by heaven and cannot be changed by anyone or by any means. Even if the white cat now soars into the sky and achieves the title of empress, he still has to obey Su Yanjian and not have any disobedience. Otherwise, the soul contract will backfire on it, and not only will the Taoist fruit be destroyed, but even life will be lost. To put it simply, the white cat becoming stronger will be of great benefit to Su Yang, and he will have a helper on earth from now on. About 20 minutes later, Su Yang drove to the Li family manor. During the day, Su Yang came once and was already familiar with the road. He parked the car and was about to walk into the manor, when Li Feixuan suddenly ran over secretly. At this time, Li Feixuan was wearing a peaked cap and sunglasses, wrapping herself up tightly. "Honey, what are you doing? How can you be so sneaky?" Seeing this, Su Yang couldn't help laughing. "Didn't I tell you that my family can't know about my meeting with my best friend?" While Li Feixuan spoke, she opened the passenger door, sat in, and urged, "Su Yang, drive quickly, my best friend is waiting impatiently. Don't want your family to know." However, someone has already seen it. Su Yang's consciousness was sharp and he immediately noticed that his father-in-law Li Kuowu was watching him and Li Feixuan in the dark. However, Li Kuowu did not come forward to stop it, but continued to watch in the dark. When Su Yang saw this, he didn't tell Li Feixuan about it. He smiled softly and drove away. After Su Yang left, Li Kuowu returned to the secret training room in the manor, met Li Chunfeng, and told his father what he saw. "Kuei Wu, are you reading that right? The person who picked up Fei Xian was that dude from Suyang. Li Chunfeng frowned, obviously unhappy. Reply to father, it is indeed Suyang. Li Kuo gritted his teeth and said, concubine Xian is wrapped up tightly, as if she is afraid of being known by us. Father, what do you think they did? Do you even need to guess? I must have checked out a room. How shameful! Li Chunfen's body was trembling, and he said with hatred, Fei Xian, my silly granddaughter, what's so good about Suyang? I've charmed you like this. I can't sleep with you at home. Fei Xian, you want to run to sleep with Suyang, you want to make grandpa angry to death. Father, they haven't gone far yet. I will lead people to chase them. I will definitely stop them. Li Kuo gritted his teeth and said, equally angry. Hey, what's the use of stopping her this time? Fei Xian's heart is completely set on Suyang. She wants to sleep with Suyang. If you stop her once, can you stop her for a lifetime? Li Chunfeng sighed and said, besides, Feixuan has grown up and needs this kind of life. We were too strict in the past. Li Kuo said angrily, necessity is a necessity, but we can't take advantage of that loser Suyang. Okay, it's done, what's the use of talking about it? Li Chunfeng looked away and said calmly, since concubine Xian has identified Suyang and even handed over her body to Suyang, let's not stop her. Father, concubine Xian is so good, I don't want her to marry a loser. I don't want to either, but this has become a fact. If we don't want the uncle of the Li family to be a waste, we might as well change our thinking. At this point, Li Chunfeng paused, then continued, for example, let Suyang no longer be a waste. Li Kuo asked doubtfully, Father, what do you mean by this? This morning, Suyang made me very angry, so I went to Su's house to settle the score with Sukyankan, but Sukyankan offered to let me teach Suyang martial arts, and even wanted me to give the magic pill to Suyang. Li Chunfeng, he said calmly. When Li Kuo heard this, he couldn't help laughing and said, haha, the Su family is so naive to make such an unreasonable request. Father, you must have decisively rejected it. I agreed unexpectedly, Li Chunfeng said. What? Li Kuo suddenly became anxious, Father, Suyang is just a loser. He has not set foot in ancient martial arts in his early 20s. He is not qualified to receive your guidance. Moreover, the Tongshen pill is the heirloom of our Su family. You didn't let me take it when my talent was average, so how can I give it to Suyang now? You are confused. Shut up, what do you know? I am thinking about concubine Xian's rest of her life. Li Chunfeng said seriously, Fei Xian is my most beloved granddaughter. Her future husband must not be a waste. Although Suyang is rubbish now, after taking the Tongshen pill and with my guidance, he will still have a chance to reach the realm of a Grand Master in the future. Our Li family, when it comes to your generation, has no sons and only 2 daughters. The son-in-law is the half-son. From now on, Suyang will be your son. The Su family also needs him to take care of him. Giving him the Tongshen pill is the best way to take care of him. Good result. Li Chunfeng said sternly, but in fact he felt extremely regretful and wished he could slap himself a few times. Drinking makes things worse. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 114. Recalling the drinking party during the day today, Li Chunfeng was extremely upset. He was not stupid, he realized it when he was sober. This was obviously a premeditated plan. Su Shenbing and his son were so abominable that they actually used a century-old national cellar as bait to lure themselves into the bait. Afterwards, Li Chunfen's first reaction was to deny the debt, saying that he did not say those words, but the Su family actually recorded their drinking conversation, which was really despicable. Originally, although Li Chunfeng was somewhat resistant to instructing Suyang to learn martial arts, he was not unacceptable. But the Tongshen pill is an heirloom of the Li family and has been passed down for more than 200 years. Li Chunfeng would definitely be reluctant to let Su Yang, a loser, take it. Therefore, at first, he was just perfunctory with Sukyunkin and his son, but he had other plans in his heart. Anyway, Su Yang didn't know what to buy. When it came time to take the Tongshen pill, he would avoid the Su family and his son and just feed Su Yang a piece of malicin, and Su Yang wouldn't notice. Later, he said that Su Yang was too rubbish, and even the soul toking pill could not save him. Even if he saved the soul tongling pill, he would not bear the reputation of being dishonest. But now, when Sukyunkin learned that his granddaughter secretly went on a date with Su Yang late at night, he changed his mind and decided to really reform Su Yang. There is no other reason than that he loves Li Feixuan too much and hopes that Li Feixuan can live a better life. Father, when Feixuan was born, a Taoist priest came to our door and said that Feixuan was the only hope for our Li family to rise to the sky. From then on, you paid special attention to Feixuan. At this time, Li Kuo couldn't help but said, but this is just nonsense. Father, you don't really believe what the old Taoists said. That's why you care about concubine Xian so much. In order to make concubine Xian happy, you don't hesitate to take any risks. Use the divine elixir to transform concubine Xian's other half. Kuei Wu, if you knew the identity of that veteran, you wouldn't say it's nonsense. Li Chunfeng continued, in short, it is impossible to change my decision. The magic pill must be Su Yang. But father, since you think concubine Xian is the hope for the rise of the Li family, why don't you let concubine Xian take the magic pill? Li Kuo asked doubtfully, wouldn't this be 10,000 times better than giving it to Su Yang? Years ago, I had this idea. I wanted to use the magic pill to help concubine Xian get started in ancient martial arts. Li Chunfeng shook his head and said with a wry smile, the magical elixir is very powerful, but concubine Xian is weak. If she takes it, she will die. Father, the more I think about it, the more I feel that that old Taoist priest is unreliable. Fei Xian is just an ordinary person, how can he lead the Li family away? Li Kuo said depressedly. You don't understand this, right? Have you ever heard that a person can ascend to heaven, or that a concubine will marry a powerful man? If that happens, won't our Li family's fortunes be lifted? Li Chunfeng said seriously, perhaps Su Yang is the most powerful person, but he just hasn't awakened yet, and the Tongshen pill is the key to his invincibility. This. Li Kuo stopped talking, but in his heart, he still despised Su Yang, but he could only accept his father's decision. Actually, not only did he accept his fate, but Li Chunfeng also accepted his fate. Li Chunfeng has been waiting for 20 years, but his granddaughter has never been able to set foot in ancient martial arts, and she has not yet met a noble person. He is already desperate. Anyway, since I have no grandchildren, I can no longer continue the incense of the Li family. Naturally, there is no need to pass on the Tongshen pill. It is time to take it out and use it. Thinking of the inheritance from his descendants, Li Chunfeng suddenly had a flash of inspiration in his mind, and then stood up. No, the magic pill cannot be given to Su Yang in vain. I will go to Su's house to discuss with Sukyunkin. When Su Yang and his concubine announce their marriage and have a child, the surname must be Li. Yes, just do it like this, and then I will have a great-grandson, ha ha ha. Li Chunfeng was so excited that he said excitedly, Sukyunkin will value his grandson from now on, so he must bring a century-old national cellar to Li's house, otherwise he will never see my great-grandson. When it comes to centenary Kuajiao, this wine is really fragrant and mellow, but it also has great staying power. I am a great martial arts master. I usually recover quickly after drinking too much, but these 2 times I have been suffering for a long time. The wine I drank in the morning has made me dizzy now. Although he felt uncomfortable, Li Chunfeng couldn't help but want to drink. He immediately took some braised vegetables and went to find Sukyankin. This time, he came to negotiate terms with Sukyankin. After all, the inheritance of descendants was a big deal, so Sukyankin must be very resistant, and Li Chunfeng was already ready to put in a good word. In short, no matter what, the child born to Su Yang and Li Feichuan must be named Li. If Su Yang knew about it, he would probably be dumbfounded. Damn it, I haven't even slept with Li Feichuan yet, and you are already thinking about whose surname the child will have? Banquet at West Lake. This is one of the most famous restaurants in Jiangbei. It is located by the beautiful lake. From location selection to decoration to exterior layout, everything is first class. The environment and atmosphere are very good. At this time, Su Yang and Li Feichuan had already arrived outside Yangzhou restaurant and had just parked their cars. "Honey, can you tell me what your best friend wants to discuss with you?" Su Yang asked curiously. "Is such that?" Li Feichuan did not hide it, but said, "My best friend's grandfather has something that is very precious. Her grandfather regards it as life and usually doesn't let my best friend see it. Now, my best friend has a boy she likes. This boy needs her grandfather's treasure. Today, she wants my best friend to help her steal her grandfather's treasure." Li Feichuan continued, "But my best friend knows that if the baby is gone, Grandpa will definitely be very sad. On one side is my grandpa, and on the other side is the boy I like. My bestie didn't know how to choose, so she called me to discuss it with me." After saying that, concubine Li smoothed her hair in front of her forehead, looked at Su Yang, smiled and said, "Su Yang, do you think my best friend should steal grandpa's things for that boy? Do you even need to ask? You definitely shouldn't." Su Yang said directly, "That man definitely has no good intentions. He probably got close to your best friend just because of her grandfather's baby." "I think so." Li Feichuan nodded in agreement, and then said, "However, Su Yang, my best friend is with that boy now. Please don't talk nonsense later to avoid embarrassment." "Yes, I understand," Su Yang agreed with a smile. "This matter has nothing to do with him, so he won't bring trouble to himself." But Su Yang was very curious, didn't Li Feichuan only have Zhang Shuer as her best friend, and she was given, ahem. However, Zhang Shuer has left Jiangbei long ago, and Li Feichuan cannot bring herself to see Zhang Shuer. "So, my wife has met a new best friend?" Su Yang was very curious, who among the ladies in Jiangbei was so stupid that he would hesitate when faced with the above question. However, when he arrived at the private room, Su Yang was stunned and turned to a playful smile. She knows this best friend. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 115. Walking Day. That's right, the best friend Li Fei announced was actually the beautiful teacher at Bauhinia University, Walking Day. "Feichuan, you're here. This matter worries me to death. I'm in a dilemma. I don't know how to make a decision. Please give me some advice." When Walking Day saw Li Feichuan, she seemed to have seen a savior, and hurriedly came over and took Li Feichuan's arm. Li Feichuan and Su Yang had the same view. They felt that the man just wanted to deceive Grandpa King Day's treasure. But Li Feichuan was a smart girl and knew not to say it openly, otherwise Hua King Day would feel uncomfortable, so she smiled and said, "King Day, don't worry, we will slowly think of a solution. There will always be a solution that has the best of both worlds. By the way, where is the boy you like? He went to the toilet." As she said that, Hua King Day saw Su Yang next to her. Her expression suddenly changed, and she gritted her teeth and said, "Su Yang, why are you here?" "I came as soon as I thought about it." Su Yang smiled playfully, "Teacher King Day, I didn't expect you to have a boy you like. I'm particularly curious about what kind of man can catch your eye. What kind of person I like has nothing to do with you." Hua King Day said coldly, "Where have you been these past few days? You don't go to class every day. Do you want to be expelled from school? Su Yang smiled softly and said, didn't I already ask for leave? Your grandfather personally approved it, but he didn't tell you. That doesn't count. Hua Qingdai said with a dark face, this is the first time I've heard that some students asked for leave because they wanted to go to a high-end club. Su Yang, you are the first in the world. The reason for taking leave is to go to a high-end club. When Su Yang heard this, he also had a dark suspicion. It seemed that next time they met, it was necessary to cultivate the master-disciple relationship with Hua Shimiao. Su Yang, I don't want to talk nonsense to you. Please leave my box right now, Hua Qingdai said unceremoniously. Su Yang touched the bridge of his nose and was about to tease Hua Qingdai, but at this moment, Li Feixuan rolled her eyes at him. Su Yang, please stop saying a few words. Li Feixuan stopped Su Yang, and then comforted, Qingdai, don't be so angry. I asked Su Yang to come. Feixuan, why did you ask Su Yang to come over? Hua Qingdai asked in confusion. Didn't you say that you can't let my family know about tonight's meeting? I can't drive myself, so I asked Su Yang to send me here. Li Feixuan said with a smile, don't worry, Su Yang won't talk about what happened today, right, Su Yang? Well, my wife has said so, and I will definitely not spread it to anyone else. Su Yang nodded in agreement. You heard Qingdai, don't be angry, it's more important to solve your problem, concubine Li said with a smile. Okay then, wait, no, Feixuan, what did Su Yang call you just now? Hua Qingdai said in surprise. As a native of Jiangbei, Hua Qingdai naturally knew about the relationship between Su Yang and Li Feixuan. In fact, it was because of Li Feixuan that she had a bad attitude when she met Su Yang for the first time. My best friend Li Feixuan is not only beautiful, but also has a good family background. How could she have a scumbag fiancé like Su Yang? Hua Qingdai declared that concubine Li was not worthy, so she always looked disdainful when facing Su Yang. But now, she saw Su Yang calling Li Feixuan his wife, but Li Feixuan didn't refute. What's going on? Qingdai, Su Yang is actually a very nice person. You may have some misunderstanding about him at this time, Li Feixuan whispered. Misunderstanding? Hua Qingdai was dumbfounded, then gritted her teeth and said, what is the misunderstanding? You have forgotten the ridiculous things that young Master Su has done. How can you say it is a misunderstanding? Concubine Xian, were you deceived by his sweet words? I will slowly explain these things to you later. Concubine Li Xian smiled, and then said, the most urgent task now is to resolve your matter first. You didn't make it clear on the phone, who is the boy you like, and what does he want from your grandpa? Hua Qingdai glanced at Su Yang with a strange expression, then withdrew her gaze and said, Feixuan, please don't tell my grandpa that this is what happened. Isn't my grandfather a miracle doctor? He once got a magical ancient elixir by chance. It is said that after taking it, it can cure all diseases. Hua Qingdai continued, the boy I like is not in good health and suffers from congenital heart disease. From birth to now, he has been suffering from pain all the time. He found me today and said that the doctor had given him a critical illness notice and that he only had a few days to live, but he didn't want to die, so he asked me to do him a favor and let me steal Grandpa's ancient elixir and give it to him. Cure. As Hua Qingdai spoke, she showed a shy expression. He also said that when he recovers from his illness, he will propose marriage to my grandfather and marry me as his wife. I don't want him to die, but that ancient elixir is also very precious to Grandpa, and I don't want Grandpa to be sad either. Hua Qingdai was in a dilemma. Fei Xian, what do you think I should do? I'm in a dilemma. I'm worried to death. After concubine Li listened, she asked, Qingdai, when this issue first came up, you already had a choice in your mind, right? Are you more inclined to help your boyfriend, or not to make Grandpa sad? He's not my boyfriend yet. Hua Qingde blushed and corrected, then said, human life is at stake, so I want to save people more. Fixuan, I know my idea is not mature, what do you think I should do? Qingde, do you want to hear the truth? Li Fixuan looked at Hua Qingde and asked. Well, tell me, you are my best friend, of course we have to tell the truth. Good. Li Fixuan said seriously, I think you'd better not steal Grandpa Hua's ancient elixir. Why? Hua Qingde asked puzzled. First of all, I have never met the boy you are talking about. I don't know who he is, but he can ask you to steal things from home. His character must not be very good. Li Fixuan analyzed. Secondly, Qingde, have you ever thought that this boy had ulterior motives when he first approached you? What's the meaning? My guess is that he is most likely approaching you because of the ancient elixir. After he gets what he wants, he will definitely not marry you. Li Fixuan continued, even if I want to marry you, it is because of your background. It is impossible for such a man to truly love you. Fixuan, don't say that. In fact, you have met the boy I like, and he is relatively familiar with it. Hearing Li Fixuan's words, Hua Qingde defended the boy she liked. He is a handsome young man with ideals and ambitions. He is not the person you say. Do I know him? Li Fixuan paused for a moment, and then she became interested in gossip and couldn't help but ask, who is it that actually wins your favor? He is, Nalan Mingj. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 116. Nalan Mingj. When these 4 words came out of Hua Qingde's mouth, Li Fixuan was stunned and felt a little unbelievable. In her impression, Nalan Mingj has a very good character, polite and gentle as jade, otherwise he would not be called the #1 son of Jiangbei. Li Fixuan and Nalan Mingj met often and went to school together for a while. After growing up, she could clearly detect that Nalan Mingj was very kind to her and seemed to like her. But Nalan Mingj was not Li Fixuan's type, so from then on, Li Fixuan began to distance herself from Nalan Mingj, and the chances of meeting him decreased. Although she doesn't like Nalan Mingj, it doesn't mean that she denies Nalan Mingj's character. When she heard what happened to her best friend just now, Li Fixuan's first reaction was that the boy her best friend liked must be a liar and have bad intentions. Therefore, Li Fixuan was very surprised when she learned that the boy was Nalan Mingj. Because this was so different from the Nalan Mingj in her impression, it was hard for her to judge for a while. Fei Xian, there is no doubt about Brother Mingj's character. If he says he will marry me, he will definitely do it. Hua Qingde gritted her teeth and said, otherwise, I will promise him. If I didn't know that boy, I would definitely stop you, but this person is Nalan Mingj, so I can't express my opinion. Li Fixuan reacted quickly, smoothed her hair in front of her forehead, smiled and said, after all, the 3 of us know each other, and you also know Nalan Mingj's character very well, and I don't know much about him. What did you say? Hua Qingde nodded and finally made a decision, then I will go home and steal Grandpa's ancient elixir later. Wait a moment. At this time, Su Yang said, Teacher Qingde, I think you should think more about it. Character can be faked. Maybe Nalan Mingj is not a good person. Su Yang, shut up. When Hua Qingde heard this, she immediately said angrily, I don't allow you to question Brother Nalan. Don't forget, you are the #1 dude in Jiangbei, and Brother Mingj is the #1 son in Jiangbei. He is 10,000 times stronger than you. Okay, I'm too talkative. Go ahead and steal the ancient elixir. If you do, hurry up and cure your brother Mingj. Su Yang spread his hands, too lazy to meddle in such nosy matters. Qingde, actually, I think Su Yang is right. Li Fixuan looked at Su Yang, smiled meaningfully, and then said, Character can indeed be faked. For example, some people deliberately pretend to be super dudes, and no one can tell. Although we know Nalan Mingj, we can't be sure of his true character. It's better to test it out. Concubine Li advised, after all, that ancient elixir is so important to Grandpa Hua, so we can't be careless about it. All right. Hua Qingdai was a little hesitant, but her best friend suggested it, so she agreed and asked, how to test? Li Feixuan's beautiful eyes fell on Su Yang and said with a smile, Su Yang, do you have any good ideas? Yes, but why should I say it? Su Yang said with an unhappy face. Okay Su Yang, Qingdai doesn't understand you, that's why she treats you like this. Please help her, Li Feixuan requested. I'm already angry, but it's not impossible to ask me to help. Su Yang looked at Li Feixuan and said with a playful smile, honey, just call me good husband and I will help you, okay? Su Yang, you. Forget it if you don't scream. I'll wait for you in the car. You two can discuss it slowly. With that, Su Yang was about to leave. Don't. Li Feixuan hurriedly called Su Yang, then her face flushed, and she whispered, good old husband. Yeah, it sounds really good. Su Yang showed a smile, full of enjoyment. Feixuan, you are crazy, how can you call me a dandy husband? Hua Qingdai said in surprise. I have an engagement with him. I was going to marry him. It doesn't matter if I call him husband in advance, Li Feixuan responded. Ah, concubine Xian, didn't you disagree with the marriage contract before? You also said that you would never marry Su Yang even if you die. Hua Qingdai said in disbelief, what happened to you and Su Yang during this period? How did your attitude change so quickly? I can't explain it in a sentence or two. I'll tell you slowly when I get the chance. Concubine Li smiled, then rolled her eyes angrily at Su Yang and said, you guys who take advantage of others' danger, tell me what good ideas you have. It's actually very simple. We just need to see Nalan Mingj's attitude after getting the ancient elixir. If his attitude toward teacher Qingdai worsens and he goes back on his words, it means that he has ulterior motives. He doesn't like teacher Qingdai at all, but wants to defraud the ancient elixir. Su Yang continued, we can ask teacher Qingdai to give him an ancient elixir and then wait for him to perform. It's a good idea, but Su Yang, the ancient elixir is at home, not on me, Hua Qingdai said. It's easier. The corner of Su Yang's mouth raised, and then he rubbed it vigorously on his body a few times, and soon he rolled out a mud ball the size of a watermelon seed, and said with a playful smile, isn't this an ancient elixir? Hua Qingdai instantly understood what Su Yang meant, but said with disgust, Su Yang, you are so disgusting. It's been so long since you took a shower. You are so dirty. Damn it. In order to help you, I gave you ideas and props. It's okay if you don't thank me, but you still criticize me? Besides, even a person who takes a shower every day can rub out such a small amount of dirt, but he actually called me dirty. If it weren't for my wife's sake, I wouldn't bother to get involved in this matter. Indigo, it's just a little mud. Normal people will have it. I have it too. Don't talk about Su Yang like that. Li Feixuan spoke up to defend Su Yang, which made Su Yang feel very comfortable and couldn't help but give his wife a thumbs up. Give it a try, Qingdai. Only after you try it can you rest assured, Li Feixuan continued. Oh well. Hua Qingdai nodded and took the ancient elixir made by Su Yang with a look of disgust. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang and Li Feixuan did not leave, but went to the box next to them to observe secretly. Not long after, Nalan Mingj came back from going to the toilet. His face was very pale and he looked very painful. He was unsteady when walking and almost fell. He was holding onto the chair with difficulty. Seeing this, Hua Qingdai stood up in a hurry and asked with concern, Brother Mingj, are you okay? It's okay. I just had a heart attack in the toilet. I have already taken special medicine. Seeing the worry on Hua Qingdai's face, Nalan Ming's face flashed with a look of success, and then he said with a forced smile, Miss Qingdai, don't worry about me, I'm much better now. What do you think of the proposal I just made, already? Brother Ming, I really want to help you, but the ancient elixir is my grandfather's lifeblood. I'm worried. Hua Qingdai was confused. I understand, Miss Qingdai, just pretend that I didn't say anything. Nalan Ming showed a sad smile and said unwillingly, Miss Qingdai, maybe you don't know, I have liked you for a long, long time. Originally, I planned to stay with you until we grow old together after I recover from the illness, and go to Yunnan together. It's a pity that I don't have much time left in the ancient city. In the next life, Miss Qingdai, just wait for me. I will definitely marry you in the next life and make you the happiest woman in the world. After hearing Nalan Ming's affectionate confession, Hua Qingdai hesitated. Brother Ming likes me so much, should I test him? Hua Qingdai firmly believed that Nalan Ming would not lie to her, but after much thought, she decided to test it out. Because she wanted Su Yang and Li Feixuan to see how good her brother Ming really was. Then, Hua Qingdai took out the props made by Su Yang and said, Brother Ming, actually, I have always carried my grandfather's ancient elixir with me. I know you really need it, so now I will give it to you. You will be cured after eating it. I will wait for you to recover completely and take me to travel with you. We don't ask for the next life, but we will be together forever in this life, Hua Qingdai said shyly. Although the ancient elixir is fake, her feelings for Nalan Ming are real. Ha ha ha. Ancient elixir. When Nalan Ming saw the pill in Hua Qingdai's hand, he couldn't control himself anymore. He was immediately overjoyed and snatched it away to take it. This is an ancient elixir. As long as he eats it, he can be cured of the heart disease that has troubled him for more than 20 years, ha ha. Hua Qingdai did not expect that Nalan Ming would choose to take the mud pill immediately after getting it, so she quickly stopped her and said, Brother Ming, you can't eat this. Cannot eat? Regret it? So you want to stop me? Hee hee. Naive woman, how could I let you succeed? It was okay if Hua Qingdai didn't stop her. Once she stopped him, Nalan Ming moved faster and swallowed the mud ball directly into his stomach. The speed was astonishing, as if he was afraid that others would snatch it from him. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 117. Nalan Ming was so fast that he swallowed the ancient elixir into his belly in almost the blink of an eye. Hua Qingdai wanted to stop her, but it was too late. Her expression was extremely complicated, and she hated Su Yang in her heart. Damn Su Yang, so annoying. I also blame myself for why I accepted Su Yang's suggestion and used fake ancient elixirs to test Brother Ming. It's better now, but it caused Brother Ming to eat the food rubbed off Su Yang's body. Hateful. Wait, Su Yang, if Brother Ming is as good to me as ever and insists on marrying me, I will definitely settle the score with you. With this thought in her mind, Hua Qingdai did not say that Nalan Ming had taken a fake elixir, but asked with concern, Brother Ming, how are you feeling, are you okay? Good. I feel very good now. After Nalan Ming took the ancient elixir, he was very excited. With an excited smile on his face, he praised, it is indeed an ancient elixir. It contains a strange fragrance, is soft and melts in the mouth. I never thought that I could get it in my lifetime. Eat such an excellent elixir. The box next door. When Li Feixuan heard this, she couldn't help it. She laughed out loud, and turned to look at Su Yang angrily. She couldn't help laughing and said, Su Yang, look at the good things you have done. If Nalan Ming knew that he had eaten something from you, the mud will definitely make you so nauseous that you won't be able to eat for a few days. You can't blame me. Who knew he was so eager? Su Yang smiled and then said playfully, however, this also proves that Nalan Mingj has no good intentions. Li Feixuan nodded slightly, agreed with Su Yang's statement, and then continued to eavesdrop. At this moment. But Hua Qingdai couldn't laugh. She liked Nalan Mingj, so naturally she wouldn't laugh at Nalan Mingj. She would only feel sorry for her brother. Strange, why didn't I feel any effect after taking the ancient elixir, at this time, Nalan Mingj said curiously while being happy. Hua Qingdai paused, and then explained, maybe the effect of the medicine has not yet taken effect, and it will be effective after a while. So that's it? Nalan Mingj suddenly understood and breathed a sigh of relief. Then he looked at Hua Qingdai and asked in a slightly cold tone, Miss Qingdai, you seem to want to stop me from taking the ancient elixir just now. Why? Do you regret it and don't want me to take it? No, it's not. Hua Qingdai waved her hands repeatedly, but she couldn't tell Nalan Mingj the truth. If Brother Nalan knew that she was testing him, Brother Nalan would definitely be angry. Therefore, after a pause for a few seconds, Hua Qingdai explained, I heard from my grandfather that this ancient elixir should be melted in water and taken together with the water. It is not meant to be eaten directly, so I wanted to stop you just now. But if you drink more water now, the effect should be the same, Hua Qingdai added. Why didn't you tell me such an important thing earlier? Nalan Mingj was anxious. Hua Qingdai said with an innocent face, you can eat it as soon as you get it, and I won't have a chance. Snort. Nalan Mingj glanced at Hua Qingdai coldly, feeling very unhappy. Then, he held the warm water bottle on the table and drank for half a minute. Then he asked seriously, it shouldn't affect the efficacy of the medicine now, right? Not anymore. Hua Qingdai wanted to end this topic quickly, so she smiled and said, Brother Mingj, if you take the ancient elixir, your heart disease will definitely be cured, and you will become a normal person soon. Haha, Miss Qingdai, it's all thanks to you. Nalan Mingj smiled softly. You're welcome, we are going to be husband and wife in the future, and helping you treat your illness is what I should do. Hua Qingdai's face was full of shyness, and she mustered up the courage to say, Brother Mingj, when do you plan to propose marriage to my grandfather? Propose marriage? Hee. I'm just using you. Now that I've taken the ancient elixir, why should I propose marriage? Miss Qingdai, marriage is a major matter and should not be trivial. I think this matter needs long-term consideration, Nalan Mingj responded perfunctorily. Brother Mingj, you are thinking too much. We are in love. In fact, getting married is very simple. Hua Qingdai smiled happily and said, how about we go to the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow to get the certificate, and then propose marriage to my grandfather. Even if he doesn't agree, he has to agree. If we get married, even if my grandfather knows that I stole the ancient elixir, he won't be angry. After all, he loves me so much that he can barely accept it if you eat the ancient elixir. Miss Qingdai. Nalan Mingj originally wanted to be perfunctory, but when he heard Hua Qingdai propose to get the certificate, he immediately sneered, isn't it too early to say this now? I haven't made any plans to marry you yet. But, Brother Mingj, didn't you just say? Before Hua Qingdai finished speaking, Nalan Mingj interrupted, you said it just now, but now I have changed my mind. What do you mean? The smile on Hua Qingdai's face suddenly froze. That's what it means on the surface. Nalan Mingj said ruthlessly, Hua Qingdai, now that the matter is over, I'll have a showdown with you. Actually, from the beginning to the end, I have never liked you at all. The reason why I did this was to defraud Hua Shimiao's ancient elixir. Nalan Mingj smiled coldly and said, it turns out that I planned to accompany you in acting more, but something happened in Nalan's family. I had to leave Jiangbei tonight and go to Kyoto. That's why I asked you out tonight. Now, don't you understand? What? Hua Qingde was stunned as if she had been struck by lightning. After she came to her senses, she burst into tears. Why are you crying, Hua Qingde? I admit that you are very beautiful. Among all the ladies in Jiangbei, you can be ranked in the top 5. Nalan Ming sneered, but I already have someone I like, and I can't hold you in my heart. Don't feel sad. I've never touched you. I just deceived your feelings. Just don't take it seriously. With that said, Nalan Ming stood up and said ruthlessly, as for this ancient elixir, thank you, but I won't take it for nothing. I will transfer a sum of money to your grandfather's account and treat it as if it was purchased by me. Bar. Goodbye. After leaving a few words, Nalan Ming turned around and left. Hua Qingde couldn't hold herself any longer. She squatted down and cried, her voice filled with grief. Nalan Ming. At this time, Li Feixuan couldn't sit still and hurriedly ran into the box. She first comforted Hua Qingde, then gritted her teeth and said, I didn't expect you to be such a sanctimonious person. I thought I was wrong about you before. Feixuan, why are you here? Nalan Ming was stunned when he saw Li Feixuan. Shut up. Su Yang followed in, stared at Nalan Ming coldly, raised his eyebrows and said, are you worthy of calling my wife by her name? Su Yang. Nalan Ming's eyes instantly fell on Su Yang, and he asked in surprise, why aren't you dead yet? Why did I die? Su Yang stared at Nalan Ming and guessed that Song Liwa and the black slaves came to the riverside villa to kill him, which was closely related to Nalan Ming, so he smiled playfully, did you send someone to kill me? How could it be? Nalan Ming quickly calmed down and denied it. Nalan Ming, you have gone too far. Qingde likes you so much, how could you play with her feelings for a pill? At this time, concubine Li couldn't express her anger and started to accuse. Fei Xian, I have no choice but to endure the pain and suffering every day. It is too painful. I hope you can understand. Nalan Ming did not explain, but expressed sympathy. Li Feixuan didn't buy it and scolded her coldly, despicable, this is not the reason why you deceived Qingde. I have already taken the ancient elixir, and it is impossible to spit it out again. I will find an opportunity to make up for it. Nalan Ming promised that he cared about Li Feixuan's opinion of him. There's no need to make up for it. At this time, Su Yang hugged his arms and said with a playful smile, after all, the ancient elixir you took is just a lump of mud I rubbed off my body. If you want to eat it, I can rub another one for you. What, the mud on you? After hearing this, Nalan Ming's expression suddenly changed, and he felt his stomach churn. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 118. Hateful. Damn it. The ancient elixir that he snatched as a treasure turned out to be mud from Su Yang's body. For a moment, Nalan Ming couldn't accept it, his face turned ugly, and he vomited directly. Recalling that he had just praised the ancient elixir he had eaten for its peculiar fragrance and melting in his mouth, Nalan Ming had a complicated expression, as if he had eaten a dead fly. Qingde, don't cry. It's not worth it for this kind of man at this time, Li Feixuan comforted her softly. Feixuan, Wu, I feel so uncomfortable. Hua Qingde hugged Li Feixuan, heartbroken. Okay. Li Feixuan glanced at Nalan Ming coldly, then said comfortingly, Qingde, you should feel lucky that you have seen Nalan Ming's true face so early. While sobbing, Hua Qingde regretted, a few days ago, my grandfather reminded me to stay away from Nalan Ming. Unfortunately, I didn't take it seriously. It's all my fault. I didn't listen to my grandfather, otherwise I wouldn't have been deceived by him. Li Feixuan hugged Hua Qingde and smiled softly, it's normal. In this life, people will always meet a few scum. It's okay for you. You were only deceived for a while and you didn't lose much. Looking at the news, many girls have been deceived of their best years and bodies. In comparison, this is nothing to you. I have to say that Li Feixuan is very good at comforting people. Such a comparison made Hua Qingde feel much better. She choked and said, "That's right. I have nothing to lose." "That's right, so Qingde, don't cry. You will gain wisdom from the experience. Just pay more attention in the future." Li Feixuan smiled and said, "Actually, the older generation have very good tastes. Next time you talk about a boyfriend, listen more to Grandpa Hua's opinions. He has seen countless people, and the boy he likes must be very excellent." "Yeah." Hua Qingde stopped sobbing and her mood was greatly restored. Then she looked at Su Yang and whispered, "Fei Xian, Su Yang is a scumbag. You were not defrauded of your body by him like the girl in the news. Bar. Fuck." Su Yang was right next to him. He heard these words clearly, and he immediately felt unhappy. "What you said is wrong. Do you know me? Why do you always say that I am a scumbag? Do you still understand? Going to the club every day can be a good thing," Hua Qingde said casually. "I." Su Yang was about to reply, but Li Feixuan glanced at him and signaled him not to say more, so Su Yang shut up. "Qingdai, don't accuse Su Yang anymore. What happened today is all thanks to him." Concubine Li refused to let Su Yang speak, but she defended herself, "Otherwise you wouldn't know the true face of Nalan Mengge. Maybe Grandpa Hua's ancient elixir is really going to be deceived. You should thank Su Yang." Hua Qingde thought about it carefully and realized that it was indeed the case. After struggling in her heart, she finally said, "Su Yang, thank you." "You're welcome." Su Yang responded with a smile. No matter what, Hua Qingde is Li Feixuan's best friend. Now that Hua Qingde has just recovered from her sadness and her mood is not yet stable, Su Yang doesn't want to argue with her. "Hua Qingde." At this time, Nalan Mengge had finished vomiting, and his expression was very ugly. He gritted his teeth and stared at Hua Qingde, and said resentfully, "Okay, you actually gave me such a disgusting thing to eat? Who told you to eat it?" "It was because you moved too fast." Hua Qingde gritted her teeth. "You." Nalan Mengge said angrily, "I am so good to you, but you collude with outsiders to play with me. Hua Qingde, you are so good." "Nalan Mengge, are you good to me?" Hua Qingde recognized Nalan Mengge's true face, and her attitude towards him naturally changed. She gritted her teeth and said coldly, "How dare you say this? You approached me, invited me to dinner, and kept saying that you liked me. Weren't you all trying to deceive my grandfather about the ancient elixir? Despicable villain, why don't you die?" At the end of the sentence, Hua Qingde cursed. "Nalan Mengge, the number one son of Jiangbei, what a sanctimonious piece of shit." Li Feixuan also scolded, "I will block your phone number and delete your WeChat account. From now on, we will not contact you again." When Nalan Mengge saw this, his face instantly became ferocious, and his eyes were gloomy and terrifying. Tonight, not only did his plan to coax the ancient elixir fail, but he also left a bad impression on Li Feixuan. How uncomfortable. "Nalan Mengge." At this time, Su Yang suddenly spoke. "What are you going to say again?" Nalan Mengge roared. "Oh, I see that both of them are scolding you. If I don't scold you, I always feel guilty." Su Yang touched the bridge of his nose, then cursed with a cold face, "Nalan Mengge, you despicable villain, I wish you infertility and a full family of children and grandchildren." "Su Yang, do you know how to curse? Since you are infertile, how can you have a family full of children and grandchildren?" Li Feixuan glanced at Su Yang as if she were an idiot, but then she suddenly realized and couldn't help but laugh out loud, "Haha, Su Yang, you are really a loser. You were afraid that he would be cold, so you gave him the gift in advance. He has arranged for cuckolding." Hua Qingde also reacted, and a smile appeared on her tear-stained face. Su Yang. Nalan Mingj was furious, staring at Su Yang with cold eyes, hating him deeply. Through the conversation just now, he heard that it was Su Yang's idea to test himself with fake elixirs. If it weren't for Su Yang, his plan would definitely succeed. It's all Su Yang's fault, damn it. Why didn't Grandma and the black slave go to the riverside villa to kill Su Yang? It must have been delayed by something encountered on the way. Su Yang must die. I'm going to find Grandma right now. I remember you, Su Yang, let's see. After leaving a few words, Nalan Mingj turned around and left the box no longer. Su Yang squinted his eyes slightly and watched Nalan Mingj walk away, his eyes cold and scary. This Nalan Mingj has been included in his must-kill list. He must kill him, but not now. After all, Li Feixuan and Hua Qingdai were nearby, so he couldn't kill them in front of the two girls. Qingdai, let me take you home. Go back and take a bath, have a good sleep, and pretend nothing happened. After Nalan Mingj left, concubine Li said with a smile. Hua Qingdai nodded and thanked her again. Thank you Feixian, and, Su Yang, thanks to you too today. IQ equals, hashtag. Thank you. We are good friends. This is what I should do. Li Feixuan took Hua Qingdai's arm and said with a smile, I'll sleep with you tonight. I have a lot to say to you. Su Yang, take us back, Li Feixuan said. After getting along for a while, she became more and more rude to Su Yang. This sentence was like giving an order, without even using the word please, but this also showed that her relationship with Su Yang was getting closer. Okay, but honey, I won't work for nothing, you have to give me something sweet. Su Yang smiled and negotiated the terms. Don't you just want me to call you good husband? It's such a simple thing, I can't do it. Li Feixuan glanced at Su Yang, then said in a familiar manner, good husband. Yeah. Su Yang responded first, then smiled playfully and said, your screams are getting better and better, but the conditions this time are different from before. It won't work to scream at your husband. Then what kind of sweetness do you want? Tell me quickly, Li Feixuan said impatiently. Hey, I suddenly want to eat cherries. Su Yang showed a playful smile and then said, honey, is that okay? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 119. Faced with Su Yang's request, Li Feixuan responded generously, of course, it's just cherries. If you want to eat them, I'll give them to you. Really? Su Yang said in surprise. Concubine Li Xian smiled and said, I'm not a stingy person, it's just cherries, I can still afford them. Really, he. Suddenly, Su Yang looked at Li Feixuan and showed a playful smirk. Su Yang. You are despicable, you are shameless, you are vile, you are shameless. Li Feixuan reacted instantly, her beautiful face turned red, and she looked at Su Yang angrily. Feixuan, what are you doing? Just buy it for him. Although Hua Qingdai couldn't stand Su Yang, this small request was not too much. She felt it was necessary to satisfy Su Yang, so she said, Su Yang, I will buy some later, and you can eat mine. I'll repay you for saving me just now. Ahem, this is not good, Su Yang said, touching the bridge of his nose. What's wrong? Hua Qingdai smiled boldly. At this time, Li Feixuan gritted her teeth and said, Qingdai, stop talking nonsense. What Su Yang means is, Hua Qingdai is a normal adult woman. After Li Feixuan's prompting, she suddenly realized that she was smiling at first, but now she is furious. Su Yang, you are so shameless. How can there be a student like you at Bauhinia University? Hua Qingdai complained with a dark face. What the hell? Su Yang was unhappy and argued, you guys have such dirty thoughts? What I'm talking about are serious cherries. Just a tiny bit tastes sour and sweet. It's a nutritious fruit. You have thought wrongly. You actually said that I am shameless and unreasonable. Su Yang muttered, only people with yellow thoughts in their minds will think of strange things when they hear cherries. It can be seen that your thoughts are not healthy. I suggest you take the time to see a psychiatrist. Such a beautiful girl, how can two girls be so dirty? Li Feixuan and Hua Qingde were unable to refute these words. They all gritted their teeth and looked at Su Yang hatefully. This guy is not only shameless, but also shameless. After this joke, Hua Qingde's mood improved significantly, and she no longer rejected Su Yang. Immediately afterwards, the three of them had a simple meal in the box, and then Su Yang drove Li Feixuan and Hua Qingde out of Yangtze Lake. Not long after, the three of them arrived in front of a single-family villa near Bauhinia University. Although this place is not close to the river, it is within the school district. Hua Shimiao has a 3-story villa here, which is very rare. It cannot be obtained by spending money. It requires an extremely large network of contacts. After the car stopped, Li Feixuan and Hua Qingde got out of the car. Su Yang knew that his wife wanted to accompany Hua Qingde, so he didn't get out of the car and was about to say goodbye to his wife. Qingdai, where have you been so late and you haven't said hello to me? At this moment, Hua Shimiao walked out of the villa and asked in a calm tone. Grandpa, why aren't you asleep yet? Hua Qingde asked. Hello, Grandpa, Hua Li Feixuan greeted at the same time. Miss Fei Xian is here too. Hua Shimiao smiled back at Li Feixuan, turned to look at Hua Qingde, and said with a straight face, if you don't go home, can I sleep? Grandfather? Hearing her grandfather's words, Hua Qingde suddenly had mixed feelings and lowered her head in shame. Grandpa is so kind to me, but I would choose to be a man and steal Grandpa's ancient elixir. I am so worthless. Thinking about it, Hua Qingde cried. What's wrong? Hua Shimiao frowned. Grandpa Hua, something happened tonight. Qingde should be embarrassed to say it, so let me tell you. Li Feixuan thought for a moment and thought it would be better to tell Hua Shimiao about Nalan Mingj. Because Nalan Mingj is the young master of the Nalan family, he will definitely think of other ways if he did not get the ancient elixir this time. Knowing this, Hua Shimiao might be able to punish Nalan Mingj. Even if he couldn't be punished, he would be prepared to prevent the ancient elixir from falling into Nalan Mingj's hands. In this way, Li Feixuan told everything about tonight. What? Snort. Nalan Mingj, this bitch, not only wants to take advantage of my ancient elixir, but also tries to take advantage of Qingde's feelings. Damn it, I will never let him off lightly. Hua Shimiao was furious, turned to look at Hua Qingde, and reprimanded seriously, Qingde, I warned you not to have contact with Nalan Mingj, now you know who he is. I understand, Grandpa, Hua Qingde cried in grievance. Concubine Li advised, Grandpa Hua, Qingde is also very sad. Please stop talking about her. Humph, if you don't reprimand her a few words, she won't remember it for a long time. Hua Shimiao had a straight face, looking particularly majestic, and was about to continue scolding his granddaughter. Miracle Dr. Hua. But at this time, the window of the luxury car next to him fell down, and Su Yang came to the rescue and said, Teacher Qingde is tired, let Feixuan go in with her to rest. Division. When Hua Shimiao saw Su Yang, he was immediately frightened and his eyes were full of respect. He was about to kneel down and salute, but was stopped by Su Yang's look. Okay, okay. Hua Shimiao came to his senses and said, Qingde, forget about this matter and be more thoughtful in the future. Miss Fei Xian, please take care of Qingde. I asked the nanny to put the hot water. You can take a bath and rest. Okay Grandpa Hua. Concubine Li agreed with a smile, then looked at Su Yang, gritted her teeth and reminded, Su Yang, go to bed early tonight and don't go to high-end clubs, otherwise I will never pay attention to you again. Don't worry, my wife. From now on, the technicians at the high-end clubs will be my sworn enemies, young Master Su. We will never see them again in this life, Su Yang promised. Look at your out-of-touch stupidity. Li Feixuan was very happy in her heart, but on the surface she rolled her eyes at Su Yang, and then walked into the villa with Hua Qingde. After the two girls left, Hua Shimiao saw no one around, so he knelt on the ground and saluted respectfully. Disciple Hua Shimiao, pay homage to Master. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 120. Get up. Su Yang got out of the car and raised his hand without leaving a trace, signaling Hua Shimiao to get up. Thank you, Master. Hua Shimiao stood up slowly. Let's put the matter of your granddaughter to rest and don't mention it again when you go back. Su Yang said calmly, she has no experience in the world, so she fell into Nalan Ming's way. There is no loss at all. Understood. Hua Shimiao said gratefully, thank you Master for taking action, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. It's just a little effort. Su Yang smiled and then said, Hua Shimiao, I heard Nalan Ming say that your ancient elixir can cure all diseases. This is a bit exaggerated, but it is true that the medicine is very effective and can be used for various diseases. Hua Shimiao made no secret and said, even if the dantian is broken and the tendons are severed, after taking my ancient elixir, it can be broken and then restored to its original state. Master, if you need it, I can give you the ancient elixir, Hua Shimiao said proactively. Su Yang smiled softly and said, I heard that you regard ancient elixirs as life, are you willing to give them to me? Nature. Hua Shimiao said seriously, you have taught me such a precious medical skill as the 9-turn rejuvenation needle. In comparison, an ancient elixir is nothing. You have a heart. Su Yang could see that Hua Shimiao was not lying, so he nodded with satisfaction. However, I don't want the ancient elixir. I have no interest in it. In Su Yang's view, the elixir that ancient warriors regarded as a magical medicine must be nothing special and would have little effect on him. With his current aura, if he could refine an elixir casually, he would be able to crush Hua Shimiao's ancient elixir. There was no need to covet the other party's things. Master, a meeting of all doctors will be held at the Medicine King Palace in Kyoto in a while. At this time, Hua Shimiao suddenly said, I have received the invitation letter. Do you want to participate? Yaowang Palace, Su Yang frowned and said, what kind of organization is that? Is it powerful? Big. Very big. Hua Shimiao said seriously, in the Palace of Medicine King, there are almost all the top doctors in China. It is a powerful alliance of doctors. Master, you are proficient in the 9-turn rejuvenation needle. If this news reaches the Medicine King Palace, you will definitely be attracted by the Medicine King Palace. Hua Shimiao said in awe, with your strength and medical skills, if you get to the Medicine King Palace, you have a chance to become one of the top 10 elders and be respected by thousands of people. When Su Yang heard this, he frowned and said, how does Yaoang Palace compare with those ancient martial arts sects? It's hard to compare. Hua Shimiao explained, members of Yaoang Palace are all doctors, and their overall strength is definitely not as good as that of the ancient martial arts section. But Yao Wangdian's connections are spread all over the world, and all forces want to have good relations with Yao Wangdian. Because the Medicine King Palace has top-notch doctors, it is inevitable to be injured when traveling in the world. Therefore, whether they are powerful casual cultivators or sect masters, they all want to be on good terms with the Medicine King Palace to give themselves a guarantee. Hua Shimiao continued, let's put it this way, with one order from Yaoangdian, most of the masters in the ancient martial arts world can be mobilized to serve for it, and its influence is extremely terrifying. Sounds pretty good. Su Yang thought for a moment and then asked, are there any conditions required to join the Medicine King Palace? No. The Su family has a strong enemy from the ancient martial arts sect. Su Yang wasn't sure what the other party's background was, and he didn't know if he could handle it with his own strength. After much thought, he felt that it would be better to find a backer first, and Medicine King Palace was undoubtedly the best choice. It is the dream of all doctors to enter the Palace of Medicine King, and the conditions for joining are naturally very high. Hua Shimiao said, but master, you are fully qualified, and what I just said is not an exaggeration. You are qualified to run for elder. Does the elder have a high status? Su Yang asked. There are 10 elders in the Medicine King Palace and 1 palace master. The status of the elder is second only to the palace master. The Palace of Medicine King is not a one-word palace. The palace owner cannot appoint elders. All the doctors in the palace need to vote for them. Hua Shimiao explained, the reason why the doctors' conference was held this time is because one of the elders died of illness and we need to add another elder. Master, are you interested in joining the Medicine King Palace? Yes, Su Yang nodded. This is great. I am the doctor of Medicine King Palace. I can introduce you to the palace, and then you can participate in the elder election. Hua Shimiao said excitedly, with your medical skills, you will definitely be able to impress all the doctors and become the new elder of the Medicine King Palace. Hua Shimiao. Seeing this, Su Yang smiled softly and said, why do you look happier than me when I want to be an elder? To be honest, master, the wealth of the Medicine King Palace is astonishing. There are countless precious medicinal materials and ancient books. All doctors can receive a certain share of rewards every year. Hua Shimiao said with shame, but I am a humble person and have a low status in the Medicine King Palace. I am always excluded and the things I receive are getting less and less every year. Master, if you become an elder, my status will definitely rise, and the medicinal materials I will receive will definitely be different from before. Hua Shimiao expressed his thoughts. In response to this, Su Yang just smiled and said, you can recommend it for me, but I am not interested in being an elder. Yes. Hua Shimiao nodded in agreement, but was a little disappointed, thinking that after entering the Medicine King Palace, the master would hide his true strength and become an ordinary doctor. But at this time, Su Yang raised the corners of his mouth and said with a playful smile, what I want to do is to be the high-ranking master of the palace. This is in line with my identity. Palace master. When Hua Shimiao heard this, his expression suddenly changed and he was extremely surprised. What, can't it be done? Su Yang asked. Master, being the palace master is not that easy. You need to defeat the old palace master in public and gain the approval of all the doctors and elders. Hua Shimiao smiled bitterly and said, the current palace master's name is Zhang Kumu. It is said that he is the descendant of the medical sage Zhang Zhongjing. His medical skills are unfathomable and he is a super master. Zhang Kumu. You don't need to get involved in this. You can just introduce me. Su Yang smiled and didn't care. After tonight, he would set foot on the 4th level of Qi training. By then, even the top martial arts masters will crawl at their feet. Yes, master. Hua Shimiao responded respectfully, then gritted his teeth and said, Master, do you have anything else to tell me? If not, I'll take my leave first. Nalan Mingj of the Nalan family dared to deceive my granddaughter. I must settle this account with Nalan Zhu. You don't have to go, Su Yang said. Why? Hua Shimiao asked doubtfully, could it be that the master wanted to protect the Nalan family? Because, Nalan Zhu has been killed by me. Su Yang squinted his eyes slightly, with a murderous intent flashing in his eyes, and continued, besides, Nalan Mingj will die soon. there is no point in you going to Nalan's house. After leaving a few words, Su Yang opened the door and drove away in the luxury car.